Welcome to the Network Build Grow podcast, the show where business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals share their stories, lessons learned, and powerful strategies for building relationships and growing their circle of influence. With Melissa Taylor, your host, each week we'll bring you actionable insights to help you build a better network and a better business. Let's dive in.
Here with us on the podcast, we are welcoming Kathy Lindert today. She is your favorite mindset architect. She is amazing. She's not only a hypnotist, but she works with NLP and mindset. And we are so glad that you are here with us today.
Thank you. I am excited.
Yeah. So, it's funny. Anytime people hear the word hypnotist or mind, all that kind of thing, they think, oh, she's going to make me bark like a dog. So Tell me a little bit about what you really do.
Okay. Yeah, I don't do any stage hypnosis. So whenever anybody thinks about a hypnotist, they're always thinking, it's the funniest is when I meet them and then I tell them who and what I do, everything, they stop looking at my eyes because they're afraid I'm going to hypnotize them. So I do what they call alternative medical type of hypnosis. Okay. And that is quitting smoking, fears and phobias, weight loss, confidence, public speaking, test taking. Those are the areas of expertise that I go into. And I love doing it because when you see the transformation happening and people are doing it and they're doing it in such a short period of time, it's amazing.
Yeah, I love that. So you do help people with fears, phobias, quit smoking, lose weight, and all of that is controlled by the mind. Like it really makes a difference.
Mind. Yeah, the conscious and the subconscious mind. Okay. And working with the subconscious mind is such an interesting thing. And I always tell everybody, your subconscious mind is your magic genie. That when you rub the lamp and he or she pops out, the first and only thing they're going to say to you is, your wish is my command. So whatever you plant into your mind is what your mind is going to produce. And it's just when you think about it in that simplicity type of thinking, then you get to realize, yes, I have said I'm going to be afraid, and then I'm afraid, or I have said I don't want to smoke anymore, and then it was really easy for me to quit. Those are the easiest way for me to explain it. Yeah. What you say to yourself and what you say to your subconscious mind, it will always say your wish is my command.
Yeah, it's very powerful. Yes. We hear a lot about negative self-talk, positive self-talk, and all of that is very, very powerful and can definitely change.
Yes.
The trajectory can change a lot of things.
And it can happen quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy and it's quick when your mind and your body are buying into it. So that's why hypnosis is so effective, because you're relaxing the mind and the body. So they're now working together and they're working on the same goal. Yeah. So there's not one that's fighting against the other, because when you're relaxed, your mind is open and your body is open, and it becomes a different type of a situation where it says, I feel comfortable. I feel safe. It feels good. Let's make this happen.
Right. Now, I know that you work with a lot of different types of people, quit smoking, weight loss, those things. But I also know that you have a huge heart for our first responders, firemen, police, emergency medical. Can you tell me, what do you do to help them, first of all? And then why is that so laid on your heart?
What I do is I teach them how to not own the day-to-day garbage, the negative thoughts, but also the negative words that the public says, or if somebody says, get away from me, and they call them a pig, or it's amazing how many times my girlfriend is a nurse, and they have to have signs up in the hospital saying, if you attack or hit a nurse, we will press charges against you. Wow. These people are here to help a situation.
Yeah.
And then they're looked at as the bad guys.
Right.
And so I work with them to get rid of those emotions, those feelings, those doubts, where it keeps on beating up their minds and their bodies. And so what we do is we say, that's not your shit. Like, just don't own it. It's not yours. And how I got into working with them is 2 years ago in Charlotte, very close to my house. There was a police officer that had been on the force for a long time. And on one of the major highways, he pulled off and he killed himself. And when I started to read about mental health, that the first responders don't want to get help because they consider themselves above
heroes.
Right. They're heroes.
Right.
So they're above. Why? I have to help everybody else. I have to save everybody else. I can't do that because then it looks like I'm weak. And then the more I dug into it, the bullying within the departments, the bullying from one person to another person. Nobody wants to tell on them because then you're a snitch. And it became very apparent to me that not only was it toxic on the outside, but it was toxic on the inside. And they didn't want to have a mental health person, a therapist, come in, because if they did, then they would be judged, analyzed, and they could be taken off of their jobs or their shifts. And then
it goes on their record that they're seeing a therapist, mental health label. Gotcha. Yeah.
Where I don't do that. I come in and I show them how to get rid of things. Boom. And then they have the option. You could use it or not use it. And it's very interesting because to break through that blue line for the first responders, it's quite their learning experience.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Oh, yeah. But once you start showing one person and another person and another person, and they realize, 1, she didn't take over my mind. 2, she hasn't analyzed me. 3, there's no label going on. 4, I feel great. And 5, it's something that not only can I use on myself, but I could use on people that I'm helping. So if they're having a panic attack, if they're upset, if they're overwhelmed up and all that other good stuff, they're taking care of it. So the technique.
Yeah, because you've given them the tools. You've given them the tools to even understand how to help others with it. Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. Yep. So with all of that, I know that networking, has been a huge part of building your business, of maintaining your business, and you still do it a lot.
I do it a lot.
Explain to our listeners why. Like, why is networking such an integral part of your marketing strategy?
It's interesting because when I meet people, first of all, when I meet people, I go right up to a group and I say, hey, I'm Kathy Lindert and it's really nice to meet you. And do you mind if I barge in? And everybody's like, no, come on in. And when I ask everybody what they do, and then they ask me what I do, I said, listen, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm like the coolest person here in the whole And they all look at me like side eye, like, what are you, sure. Okay. And then I go, I'm a hypnotist. And they're like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. I go, I told you. When I network, I then not only show to them what I'm about, and then I teach them. Sometimes I'll just teach them a quick tool or a technique.
Oh, wow.
Right there. And so I'm lowering that fear factor that everybody says, are you going to make me bark like a dog or quack like a duck? And then when they start realizing, oh my gosh, this is so cool that in less than a minute, you made me feel good, calm, and relaxed. It's breaking down those barriers. It's breaking down those fears. And then people are saying, I have somebody that can really use you. And one of the things is I always make sure that I reciprocate as much as I possibly can. So if somebody's going to give me a lead or referral, and even if they're not, I will, because I've networked so much, I will say, I really believe that you would get along great with this person. I believe in reciprocation.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a second. Because I know that, obviously a lot of people network to to find those referral partners and those leads. Some people prospect rather than network, which is a no-no.
Correct.
No, which drives me crazy. But when you do want to connect somebody, so you met John at an event and you met Julie at a different event, and you're like, oh, John and Julie really need to know each other. What is your favorite way to make that connection and make sure that they understand why you're connecting the two of them? What's kind of your tactic, your strategy for that?
So recently I went to, in fact, you're part of the 100 Women Who Care in Charlotte.
I love that group. Yes.
It's amazing. I get goosebumps when I think about it.
Yes.
And there was a woman whose name was Michelle, who is just opening up a business with her fabric and making clothing and everything like that. And I've met another woman, Jody, from, I want to say the Chamber, Charlotte Chamber. Okay. And they're both in a similar industry. So what I ended up doing was I said to Michelle, I'm going to contact Jody. And I did. I sent her a quick email. And I said, Jody, I met this woman that's starting her fabric business and doing all these clothings and everything like that. I really think you guys would get along. Is it okay if I introduce you to her? And
you asked first.
I always ask.
I love that you do that. Not a lot of people ask.
Right. I ask because if she says, oh, I know her and I don't like her fabric, then I can say, oh, you know what? Michelle, it's just not going to work out, whatever. And I'll come up with something. But they both said yes. And then I connected them on LinkedIn, and then they met, and they sent me a note and said, she was great. Loved her. Thank you so much. And so those are the types of things that really will help other people. I'm not going to get anything out of it, but you know what I get out of it?
You got a lot out of it.
I get satisfaction that I was able to help these two entrepreneurs connect and really possibly have like a great business relationship.
Yeah. And I'd say you got more out of it than that. You got the goodwill, you got the good reputation, you got the likability factor, the approachability factor, the name recognition. There's a lot of things that you got out of that connection. So let's talk about LinkedIn for a second.
Yeah.
Some people might not know how to connect somebody on LinkedIn. You hear that a lot. Well, I'll connect you on LinkedIn. Well, what does that mean? I use the personal messaging, right? I make like
that's what I
message. That's what you do is you do a group message. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So I'll go in, I'll do a message, but again, I always ask permission first. Yeah. Before I do that. And
so they know. I hate it when somebody connects me. They're like, here's Julie's name. Okay. Well, why am I connected to Julie? Why are you connecting me to Julie? Exactly. I don't know, Julie. What do you?
Exactly. And people put me in that kind of a position where they're like, hey, you know what? This guy, I met him, blah, blah, blah. And it's usually because they're trying to sell me something and they're looking for, hey, do you have like 5 people's names you can give? I hate that because there's no reason. There's a woman that keeps on emailing me through LinkedIn, and this is the worst thing that you can do. And she says, hi, we're in the same group together. Is there somebody, or do you have people that I should need to know that I can start talking to?
You don't even know her.
I don't even know her. I don't even know her.
Oh my goodness.
And that is...
What universe is that okay?
It's not. But when you are desperate, that's what desperate people do.
Yeah.
They take things, they throw it on the wall and see what sticks. And this is not sticking. This has slid all the way down. I've swept it up, throw it in the garbage pail. And I will never give her anybody's name because I don't know what she does. She hasn't introduced herself to me. She hasn't said, how can I help you? Can we meet? When people call me or say, let's meet for coffee, I say, let's do it on Zoom. Because I want to be able to make sure that I like you, that you're somebody that I want to do business with.
Yeah, it's hard to take 2 hours out of your day just to figure out it's not a good connection.
Correct.
To drive there, have lunch, to drive home. Yeah, 15 minutes.
And that's my thing. Give me 15 minutes. Here's my calendar. Give me your calendar. I don't really care. Let's sit first, see what we can do. Because if all you're doing is asking for the sale and really that's all you're worried about, you're not going to get anything from me.
Yeah, I had a conversation a couple of days ago with a person that was thinking about joining Network Build Grow. And one of the questions that was asked when we were talking about the group is, how quickly will I see the recoupment of my investment? Now, first of all, Network Build Grow is only $270 a year right now in 2025. So it's not a big investment to begin with. But he was like, how quickly would I see a recoupment of my investment? And I had to pause. And I had to pause, and every fiber of my being wanted to say, that's a little transactional and you're probably not a good fit.
Right. Exactly.
Truth be known, people recoup it sometimes within the first month, sometimes within the first few, whatever. I asked my husband and he said, oh, you should have said this to him. And what he said, you should have asked him, well, I have absolutely no idea. Are you any good at what you do?
That would have been perfect.
Because that's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I can't predict that. Right. It's not about the group. It's about you and your ability to do what you say you're going to do and how you approach it. If you network for your business, you already know follow-up is everything when it comes to growing relationships and driving success. But here's the thing. Most of us want to follow up well. We just get stuck. Staying consistent, keeping it personal, making it stand out, it's hard. That's why I use NetEffect.io. It makes follow-up simple, cuts through all the noise, and helps me stay on top of every relationship without dropping the ball. I never miss a follow-up, and honestly, my network wouldn't be the same without it. So check it out, NetEffect.io. And right now, you can use promo code NBG50 for 50% off of your first month. NetEffect.io, your secret weapon to unforgettable follow-up. What is one of those number one, you should always do this when you're networking, that you believe is true?
Smile.
Smile. Be approachable.
Yes.
Okay.
When I go into different groups and I network in different places because I like to see what other people are doing in other groups, and
of course,
see if it's my job, like if we vibe together, are you my jive? I will walk in and I put on $1 million smile. And when I put on my $1 million smile, I know that I'm giving off that vibration. I'm confident. I believe in myself. I know my shit, and you're going to want to know me. And that's
because you're the coolest person in the room.
I am.
You're a hypnotist. That's awesome. Okay. So with that, let's go to the opposite side. What do you think people fail at? What do you think is like one of the things you should never do besides ask for a sale or a referral right off the bat? But what's another thing that you think they should just never do?
Take over the whole conversation.
Okay.
When people keep on interrupting or taking over the conversation to show that they're very knowledgeable, I always like to give people a certain amount of time. And then I have this habit of just kind of taking over groups. I don't know why. Could be that $1 million smile. But if somebody's talking too much, I'll say, you know what? We really need to, we haven't heard from this person. I don't even know this person's name. And then they'll stop. If they keep on saying, oh yeah, I do that too, you're off my list. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're trying to monopolize the conversation or be the person that can always one up everybody else.
Correct.
I love the people who love is a loose term, meaning I hate, the people who give their resume.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Or the name drop.
Yeah.
Company drop.
Yes. If they name drop, I went to one organization. It was again with a bunch of people, and a woman kept on handing out her flyer about when she was doing some stuff. And I'm like, you don't even know if I'm your person. Like, just stop doing that again.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, it shows a lack of reading the room, but it also shows a desperation that
Mhm.
you are so desperate that you're going to give anything to anyone just to see if you can make a sale.
Mhm.
And that's
Mhm.
not a good way to be. That's not
No.
networking.
No, it's not networking. It's and you're right. It comes across as desperate. I like how
Yes.
you said that word. It comes across as I'm reaching for straws.
Yeah. Anybody,
Yeah.
somebody,
Yeah.
please.
Somebody please love me. Somebody
Yeah.
please come to my event. Somebody
Yeah.
please want to have a one-on-one with me.
Correct.
Let's talk about one-on-ones for a second. You know, I'm not a huge fan of one-on-ones because they take a lot of time. My
Correct.
time is limited. I do a few selective one-on-ones, but I do them like you on Zoom, 15 minutes in and out.
Mhm.
What is your, I guess, philosophy behind getting to know someone a little bit deeper, one-on-ones, inviting them to other things that you're going to be at so you can develop the relationship? What's kind of your go-to tactics?
Majority of the times, I will say, it was great meeting you. I would love to keep in touch. I will follow them on LinkedIn. If they're on Facebook, I will follow them on Facebook.
Okay.
Because then I get to see what they post. I get to see what it is that they're about, because I want to know what the person is,
Yeah.
not only in business, but in life.
Okay.
And people might say, well, you're snooping. Well, you know what? I call it more of investing
Research.
in my time. Yeah, investing in my time. And then I will let them know, hey, I'm going to this one, or I think this is a really good one. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. And maybe I'll see, maybe I won't. If I really, really like them, I will make an effort to be more chatty with them. Hey, I really like that. I like your comment, this and that. And so that's how I build up my relationships, because we moved from New Jersey, where I knew, it felt like you knew everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And 8 years ago, we moved here. And I was looking for friends, people that I could also network with, but build my business with, and to just have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started networking, it was for two reasons. It was, I'm starting my business all over again. I'm redoing everything. And I'm also looking for people that I can hang out with, because when I was in New Jersey, I had work friends, I had, kid friends, you had all these different people. Everybody fell into a different pocket or a box, whatever. And here I'm fresh. So that's why I did what you call research, and I did my investigation behind the scenes,
Mm-hmm.
To see what kind of people they are, because I want to make sure we jive.
Yeah. So I made the list because we are friends, which is so wonderful. I made the list. Yes. I passed the muster. That's great. So that sounds like a lot of time on social media. Some of our listeners might be like, oh my gosh, I just cannot spend that much time on social media. It really doesn't take that much time, does it?
It really doesn't, because first of all, the amount of ads that I'm like, delete.
Yeah.
But I also do not, it's funny, social media, this is what I do. In the morning, I wake up, I talk to my mom, I check my emails, I make sure there's nothing important. I go on Facebook, I wish people happy birthdays and happy anniversaries. I'm like, dun, 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 dun. And then not until night, when everything is done, do I get on. And that's why there'll be times at 10 o'clock at night, I'm like, hey, do you want to do this? This is really cool, because that's when
I got those before from you.
Yes, a couple of times. But that's when I do it. I'm not allowing it to interrupt my day.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a slow day, then at lunchtime, if I'm really bored, I'll be like, oh, what's going on? That type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I just I scroll, I say a couple of things. Sometimes I'll read their posts. Sometimes like, oh, what a cute little baby. Oh, that's so great. You have a grandchild. Da, da, da. That's the extent of it.
Yeah.
I
go to my notifications. I go to my notifications
Yep.
and see who has said something to me that I need to respond to.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather read. I don't even watch that much television. And people will be like, are you watching this show? I go, no. And the reason being, and this is something I grew up with, my parents would always say, if you were watching too much television, you would become a boob tube. You would not become smart. So we were very limited we were allowed 5 shows that my parents had to agree on to watch. And those were the shows. And otherwise, that was it. You were going to become a boob tube. And it's just one of those things that I'm like, yeah, Okay.
Yeah, we didn't watch cartoons and those things when we were younger. It was like Wild World, was it Worldwide World of Disney or something like that?
Yeah. National Geographic.
National Geographic.
Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah, it was funny. Okay, very cool. All right, so let's say that you've, done your research, you've connected with somebody a few times over some social media, back and forths. Maybe you've seen them at a couple of events and you're like, okay, this could be either a client or more likely be some kind of a referral collaboration. How do you turn that casual connection into a more meaningful relationship at that point? What's your next step there?
Usually I will introduce them to other people. And I'll say, I think that this is a good thing. And if it works out, that would be great. And then reciprocity is something that's contagious. So once you do something for somebody, then they're going to look to do something back for you. But not only that, I will say, I really like what you do, what you're about. I would like to refer some people to you, if that's okay with you. And then if you have anybody in mind that you can refer to me, I would appreciate it. But I never pressure the person.
Yeah.
Because they may or may not have somebody at that moment. Maybe 2 years down the road, and all of a sudden they'll say, Kathy, I got somebody. Definitely. I gave him your card. I gave him, and then they'll call me and I'll call that person who referred them. And I say, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And that's what I do.
Okay, perfect. Well, I just want to thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm so happy to hear that your business is doing well and that you are really helping our men in blue and the firefighters and all of them as well. Because that's like you said, they see such tragic and horrific things on a daily basis and are not appreciated. No. And so you're helping them is a wonderful service that you do to our community.
Yes, thank you. There is one more thing that I'd like to say, and that's one of the things I've noticed with networking is that it's always growing. It's always changing. It's fluid. So I don't just stick to the same group of people every time I go to a networking event, which is something that also drives me crazy because those people, break free, get to meet other people and get to know them because your business is always growing. Your business is fluid. Why wouldn't you be fluid with your networking as well?
I agree. Doesn't mean you can't stay in the same group. It's just there's new people coming to the group all the time. Be the person that welcomes the new people in.
That is correct.
Yes. With $1 million smile.
With $1 million smile.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. Have a great one. And I'm looking forward to posting this all over the place.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Network Build Grow podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow entrepreneur or professional. And of course, if you're not yet part of our community, visit networkbuildgrow.com to connect with us. Until next time, keep building and keep growing.